bigger conversation centers around how such cars that are coming into our country, they come into our main entry points, and in the long run, the question that many are asking is that if the car has problem with it, whether it's stolen or it's process of crime, how are they getting into the country in the first place? And that is something that we could all fall prey to. I have a friend who bought a car from a dealership, and it ended up being a stolen vehicle. And so how do we check and ensure that this does not keep happening? And I want to start a conversation with Wanda.
You started with me.
I'm switching it around this time around. Okay. I'm starting with Wanda. I'm starting with Wanda. And Wanda, the focus of the conversation is about what the FBI, what the international agencies are doing in trying to track down these cars. And I have seen a report that have actually tagged Ghana as a hub of those cars coming into the country. We seem to have, is it fair to say, a lab system, if I'm to put it that way?
No, let me try and put this in perspective. First and foremost, Ghana is one of the 12 countries in Africa that have been labeled as destination for those cars. And I can mention them. Benin is one, Burkina Faso is two, Cabo Verde, which is Cape Verde, Cote d'Ivoire, Gambia, Ghana, Guinea-Bissau, Mali, Mauritania, Niger, Nigeria, and Togo. So there are actually 12 countries in West Africa that have been labeled as destination for those cars. But if you see a certain trend in the names I mentioned, Benin is French-speaking, Cote d'Ivoire is French-speaking, Guinea-Bissau, I think, is also French-speaking, right? Mali is French-speaking, Niger is French-speaking, and then Togo, French-speaking. Out of that 12, almost about 7 are all French-speaking countries. And then you also trace it back to the countries from which these things are coming from. Canada, France. Both countries are French-speaking countries. Canada and France are French-speaking countries. And earlier on offline, I was explaining to you how some of these things are done. A lot of it is actually from insurance. People buy these high-value cars, say $1 million, then they pretend that the car is missing. So it's actually a collusion between the original owner of the car in the US or anywhere, and the third party that is bringing it. And they don't bring it directly to Ghana. Ghana perhaps will be a last destination, but they will have to take it to other countries. So if I bought the car for $1 million and I'm able to offload it for $800,000 or $700,000, I'm fine. I make some good earnings. And some of these cars, the original manufacturers are beginning to put in silent tracking systems that hooks on the brain box of the car to the original manufacturer. Sometimes there are some cars in this country that you just have to call the original manufacturer and they will reset your car for you wherever you are, whether from Germany or from wherever, they can do it for you. So when the insurance companies pay this huge amount of money or buy these cars for their clients, they are alarmed. So they report to Interpol. FBI takes over, and then they start tracking the car. They discover that the car is either in Togo or Benin or in Ghana or Nigeria or whatever. So then they speak to their West African ally, including your country ally on Interpol. They start tracking the cars, and they're able to find the cars. That's why they don't stop every car. They have some suspected cars that they'll stop, maybe depending on the year, the value, and all that. So it's not entirely the case, and I can give you the trajectory of events. In October 2022, in October 2022 was the first, 2022, December 2022, they led an operation, and then they had seized 37 cars. Yoko. Combined, yes. Okay. Not Yoko, FBI in conjunction with Yoko seized about 37 cars, and this included X7, X5, Mercedes-Benz, Jeep Wrangler, and all that, Lexus. You can see the high-value cars I'm mentioning, Range, and then Ford 150, Ford 250, and all that. 2023, there was a follow-up action. In 2023, they did not. What they did was that Yoko issued a court-ordered freeze on 95 suspected stolen luxury cars. That's why the Yoko boss came out to say that they have a lot of cars parked in their yard over there. And now the question is, what if there's a fire outbreak? The question is, if somebody bungles those cars. The question is, somebody gets to steal them again, then it will be a problem for Yoko. So it's even costing the state to keep those cars in their yard, having to provide security and all that for all those cars within this period, and that's a concern. Then in 2025, March 17 to 30, there was another operation. It's called Operation Safe Wheels. Operation Safe Wheels, an Interpol major-led West African operation, revealed Ghana as a hub for stolen vehicles, especially from Canada, from France, Germany, and the Netherlands. So it is not entirely a case that Ghana was just all of a sudden, or the only country that has been flagged like I told you, there are 12 other countries that are on the list. We should be doing more in that respect.
Okay.
Listen, cars, real estate, and something else are all avenues for money laundering. We need to wake up to that reality. If I manage to take something abroad and it's illicit drug and you paid me over there, I can't bring the money together. One of the ways is to invest in those things. Either say that I'm coming to do real estate or say that I'm going to buy these high value cars and give it to the rich people, sell it off and all that. So it's beyond the question of being stolen, it's the question of money laundering, which government will have to be, very cautious about. Because all those things lead to physical, instabilities. So you end up having your inflation out of gear. You end up having your other fundamentals of the economy out of gear. So it's a bigger conversation beyond just stolen cars.